Hello everyone, welcome to Literature Warriors. Today I would be discussing the poetic techniques of the poem Big Match 1983. So earlier I have analyzed the poem in two videos and then I have discussed the themes of the poem. So today I would be discussing the poetic techniques of the poem Big Match 1983 by Yasmin Gunaratna. So the first technique is metaphors. So there are two metaphors you can identify in the poem. The first one, the title itself, Big Match. So I have discussed when analyzing the poem, the title is ambiguous and it has two meanings. The first meaning is the match, the game you play, the big match, what you're playing at schools. And the second meaning is the box of matches, the match sticks, the box with match sticks which you can get fire. So here the big match has been compared to the racial violence which was flaming in 1983, which was the period of Black July in Sri Lanka. So big match here has been compared to that violence in that period, and actually it was a sacrificial fire. So a sacrificial fire was created while burning the country with ethnic flames. The second metaphor that we can identify is disease cause. You can go through the poem and you can find that metaphor as well. It's in the third stanza. So here the disease cause actually relates to the number of deaths. So the number of deaths caused by striking the match. The match means the match stick. And also it refers to the meaninglessness of brutal violence, disease cause. So these are the two significant metaphors in the poem. Moving on, sarcasm is there. So the metaphor disease cause generates sarcasm. How? The poet mocks at the ruthless politicians who count the deaths of civilians like the cricketers who struggle to win more marks, to score more marks to win the match. So it's really ironical for the politicians, the violence, this ruthless, the brutal violence has become a game. So it's really sarcastic. The poet is sarcastic towards the politicians actually, because they are counting the deaths of people. It's really mocking. Then another point of sarcasm lies here. I have quoted two lines here. In a tall house dim with old books and pictures, calm hands quiet the clamoring telephone. Here the books represent knowledge, humanity, wisdom, and civilization. It is sarcastic how knowledge, wisdom, humanity, and civilization have been threatened. The opportunistic politicians have given freedom for the mobs to destroy freedom and humanity. So the old gentleman who is having a passion towards books is lamenting upon the books. So it's really sarcastic because the thing which represent knowledge, humanity, wisdom, and the most precious things in life has been destroyed by the inhuman opportunistic politicians, because they have given power to the foolish, ruthless, uneducated mobs to use their power to create violence. So it's really sarcastic. It indirectly suggests that these politicians have no sense. They do not possess wisdom and knowledge. Moving on to the next technique, it's visual imagery. Throughout the poem we can see visual imagery, and it draws the grave situation and sufferings of innocent people. So I have quoted lines which really are significant with visual imagery. Out of Palmyra fences of Jaffna bristle 100 guns. So here you can see the violence in north, because Jaffna is the place which belongs to north. So there the how the guns have been blew up. So you can see, you can visualize the image how Jaffna has been attacked by this violence. Well, the next lines I have quoted: shop fronts in the Peta, landmarks of our childhood, curl like old photographs in the flames. At the corner of Duplication Road, a child lies dead. So you can see the violence in Colombo. You can visualize the violence in Colombo, though you have not been there at this terrific time. You can visualize this because Peta is the landmark of childhood of the poet. It has been curling with fires. The photographs are burning, and the Duplication Road. So everything belongs to Colombo, the capital city. So at this time, the Tamils who lived in Colombo were attacked by this brutal violence. So here, how the child lies dead, how the photographs are burning, it's really, you can visualize the scene. Then, blood in khaki uniforms, 3 boys lie dying. At the corner of Duplication Road, a child lies dead. Again, with these things also, you can see the soldiers, the children, youth, everyone have been affected by this brutal violence. You can visualize the image. It's really emotional as well. Okay, moving on to the next technique, it's tactile imagery. So visual imagery was throughout the poem, and there's a point of tactile imagery as well. So I have quoted the lines: as a stout man sweating with fear falls to his knees beneath a bow tree in a shower of sticks and stones. So the pathetic situation of innocent men in the presence of armed gangs can be seen here, because sweating with fire falls to the knees. Now we can feel this actually. Readers too feel the fear. Readers too feel the fear of this man, this innocent man. Well, so the other technique is symbols. So symbolism here, beneath a bow tree. So bow tree symbolizes the religion, the Buddhists actually. So from this, the poet wants to tell that the religion too fails to save these innocent people. That's what the poetess wants to tell about the religion and innocent people. Well, next one, personification. So you can see Sri Lanka burns alive. I have quoted the lines. Mother Sri Lanka is really burnt by politicians. So it has been burned by politicians. They are the people who have created this miserable condition. And alliteration can be seen in several lines. As a stout man sweats, fear fails. Shower of sticks and stones, sir, sir, sir. Pieties and politics, screaming, screamed. So this alliteration is actually effective in the case of capturing ironical issues involved in the violence. Well, moving on to the last technique, it's emotional effect. Actually, when the visual imagery and tactile imagery are there, so emotional effect is actually significant. You can see this. I have coded only one line there. It won't be my books that go up first, but me. So see how this old gentleman has the passion towards books for wisdom, civilization, and humanity. So he's lamenting over his books. He is emotionally affected by senseless politics and politicians. Well, so these are the most significant techniques in the poem. So I have discussed with you metaphors, sarcasm, visual imagery, tactile imagery, symbolism, personification, alliteration, and emotional effect. Well, so if you have not watched the analysis of Big Match and the themes, you can go through them, and then it will be more clear for you to understand the poetic technique. So these are the most important techniques in the poem that should be discussed. Well, so this is the end of my presentation. Hope to come up with the analysis of another poem. Well, thank you very much for watching.